everyone. So finally, my mom and I decided to go on a trip, and this trip is going to be to Poland, and then the city is Krakow. So we're very excited. But first, we're going to go into one of our favorite stores. Not stores, but like restaurants here. That is called, how's that? Pushu. I forgot the name of it, I'm sorry. But it's called Pushu, and we're going into that. We visited this restaurant, like cafe, once, and we really loved it. So before our trip, before like we find our bus and we like get on the bus, we will go into this store. Not store. Why do I keep saying store? It's just cafe. Yeah. So now we finished eating, and now we are on our way to search for the bus. But before that, I wanted to show you one thing that is absolutely crazy, but it's unfortunately our reality nowadays. You see that building over there? So it was bombed by Russians. My dad is with us, but unfortunately he cannot go on a trip with us together because since there is war in Ukraine, men are not allowed to go out, like to travel abroad if they're between 18 to 60 years old. Yes, and my dad is in this, he has that kind of age. So unfortunately he cannot go with us, so I feel very sad. And I hope that our next trip will be together with him. I really do hope so.
Я могу по другим месту забрать, которое занять, которое в этом автобусе едет. У меня билет есть.
Приїде подруга. Закрепочка дальше вперед.
Hi everyone again. It was an extremely difficult day for us because we were on a trip for like 21 hours and I think that it's just too much, crazy. But we were for 21 hours on the bus and I'll be honest with you, my butt was aching a lot. And I really wanted to just lie down and to just relax and something like this, but I could not, of course, because you have a seat and you just have to sit 24/7 there, and that's crazy. But what else can I tell you about the bus? The bus was very good because like it had the restroom, and I think it's very convenient, right? And a part of that, I think they didn't have Wi-Fi, but that's not a problem because I had 3G, so it's not a problem at all. But like the trip, the driving was not a tough thing for us, but I think the hardest thing is to wait when you are on the border. I think it was the hardest thing ever because we were just waiting for 7 freaking hours, and I think that's just too much. But I don't know what they were thinking. They were like rechecking everything, I don't know, but that was just too crazy. And then I remember the first time, like in Ukraine, since we have war, so we have a lot of blog posts. And when we reached Lviv Oblast, Lviv region, I don't know what happened to them, but they started like every single blog post started checking, and they told us like, okay, everyone just give or like show your passports. But it never actually happened to me because I had other blog posts like in other regions, and it never occurred to me. No one actually checked anything, sadly, I guess. But this time in Lviv, everyone was just checking everything, and they were very thorough about that and very strict about that. So I was like, wow, that's interesting. And then there was like one very funny moment. The first time when the bus stopped, and then they had this blog post, and then there is a woman with a gun on our bus. Like she came up to us on the bus, and then she said, okay, give or show your passports. And then I was like, okay, I'm showing you this, but she was like, like she did this gesture, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? And she didn't even look into my passport. But when it came to other people, like she did look, and I was like, what's wrong with me? And I thought that maybe she thinks that I'm not sure, but usually sometimes people think that I am younger than I actually am, and maybe that's one of the reasons. But actually, I don't know, that was a very funny moment for me because she was supposed to check that, but she did not. She just did like this. Okay, whatever with you. It's as if I'm not worthy of checking. So I felt a bit sad. But anyways, when we reached the customs, we had a very long queue line that was extremely crazy, and I didn't know what to do because I didn't want to sleep, because maybe more people will come up and say, okay, give me your passport. So I don't want to lose that, I don't want to miss that. But I didn't have any desire to sleep, and at the same time I did, which is controversial, but that's true. And then also I didn't know in what position to sit because it was just like too uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, this side, maybe like this, like that. And yes, that was very uncomfortable. And even my Mr. Bear did not help me at all, unfortunately. And that was pretty uncomfortable as well, even with him. And then finally, we reached like a Polish border or something, and then they were like checking us like very thoroughly, as usual, I guess. And that was pretty cold as well, so and it's not the end, because I think that there is one more very funny thing that happened to me, but please do not report me or something, because I didn't mean to do that. So we were like searching for the bus, like once we reached Poland and then we reached Kraków, we were looking for the bus, which number is 130. And okay, like I knew that, okay, you either pay by cash or by card. But then when we entered and then we saw, okay, you need coins, and I'm like, where can I get coins? And then I cannot get coins, right? I just have like 20 zloty, and that's it. Like, yeah. And then the driver does not accept it as well. So we were like, my mom and I, we were like, okay, we just have to get off the bus and search for another solution. But then when we were about to get off, I remember that the bus was like, it closed the door, and then we were like kind of trapped in the bus, and then the only thing we could do is just stay there. So basically, I saw that like other people were coming in, and they didn't pay. I think probably they paid beforehand because they have an application. And I'm a bit stupid, I'm a bit silly to actually find out how it works. I'm a bit silly in such things. But it turns out that we got the bus for free this time. Yeah, not proud of it, but that's the only thing I could do, I guess. Because the driver could not accept the cash, and then I didn't have coins, and then we asked other people like to change 20 zloty into coins, and they didn't have coins. So I guess not a big deal, probably. And also one more thing that is very, very distracting to me is actually the Polish language. And I just like walk around the city and I hear everyone like saying and I'm like, oh my god, it's like as if I understand it because I'm Ukrainian, but at the same time I do not understand it, and I don't know what to do. It's like kind of I catch the meaning, but I don't at the same time, so I find it very stressful but amusing at the same time. So I guess maybe my ears will just get used to the sound of it. I hope so. But I think as for now, except przepraszam or jesteś dupkiem, I cannot say much. So this is our room, and I find it very, very pretty. Even though it's small, but it's very pretty actually. Let me show you. I like the view. It's amazing. And finally the sun is trying to come out, because when we entered Krakow, we didn't have any sun, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so dull and boring. And you see that thing? That's an apple. That's a statue of an apple. I don't know why they have it there, but it's an apple. I find it very silly and amusing. So this is the stuff that we bought from a very good little shop called Żabka. And I don't know why, but I just wanted to show you the check here. I'm not sure. I don't know, like, if it's too cheap for you, that's too expensive. I think it's kind of a bit expensive as for Ukrainian standards. But we bought these things are called I call them panini, but the shopkeeper said panini, so I have no idea how to pronounce that, so I'll just leave it up to you. And then we've got some bananas. They're a bit smashed. What happened to them? And then we got this, I don't know what that, dinner or something. Shamam. Benazı kurçakim, something like this. And I just saw like a piece of broccoli and I just went with it. And then we got this one, Star Machugi. I have no idea what's that. And then sausages. I just found them, like, they have a pretty good color, so I just thought that it's good. And then we have some cheese, I guess, syrek, that's cheese, should be cheese. And then something to drink. This one had a discount and this one was like 1.5 zloty. I think that's pretty cheap. Okay, what's that? Oh. And then this one is yogurt. No, it's kefir. And this one was kind of cheap too, I think just 2 or 3 zloty. And then we have a yogurt, kremowy. So I just like the spoon here. So I was like, okay, let's try it out. And then the last one from this bag is again some kind of cheese.